Hey everyone, habari zenu, como esta, ohoro wanyu, guten tag, konnichiwa, and all the other greetings. I hope you guys are doing well. Thank you so much for clicking on my video. If it's your first time here, hello, karibu, welcome. I am Kenyan hippie or African hippie. I hope you'll stick around, learn something, and maybe like and comment and subscribe and all that jazz. If you are returning subby, thank you so much. I appreciate you guys more than you know. Thank you so much for the support. It is with a heavy heart that I make this video today because I am coming to terms with the fact that people are not who I thought they were. My belief system is becoming a bit shattered. When you hear about the woke left, it's very expected. I've dealt with them for years. It's why I left the left. It's a hypocrisy, the antithesis, the expectation for you to think like them. Collectivism, identity politics, racism, monolithic thinking, hive mentality, and all that, right? But when you come as a conservative and you encounter the woke right, it's quite disappointing. When you come across people who are, again, fellow Trump supporters, but they are also FBA, it leaves me with a lot of question marks. Who are the FBA? They're the Foundation of Black Americans. Where have I seen them? I encountered them quite a bit on X, mostly. My husband really is on deals with them because we have a shared account on there. They have called me some of the most disgusting names. They have called my child a half-breed because I'm dirtying my bloodline. But at the time, these FBA were mainly from the left. Now I've come to learn in the past few months that there are FBA on the right as well. The only difference between the two is that the FBA black activists on the left are liberals. They're more liberal in their thinking. They voted for Kamala Harris. While the FBA on the right voted for Trump. Why? Because they're nationalists. I consider myself a nationalist, but my nationalism is not based on skin tone. It's just based on American pride. Their nationalism is based on black pride or some kind of feeling of ownership of the country. They call themselves foundational for a reason.
There's an internet psyop taking advantage of undereducated African Americans called the FBA movement. FBA stands for Fear of Being African, I think, and it's causing a sect of African Americans who didn't graduate high school for the most part to grab onto certain catchphrases and hot terms to disparage African people and distance themselves from their own African ancestry. They claim they've always been in America and the Native Americans are really the ones who came over to America. Or like, it's the dumbest shit I ever heard. Something I noticed about these people online is that every single one of their accounts look a lot like bot accounts. And the ones that aren't bot accounts, you can tell by their profiles that these are losers. These are people that contribute nothing to the African American community, but they're so proud of being African American based on I don't fucking know what. And I'm an African American. I'm very proud of my ancestry. I'm proud of the things that we've accomplished. I'm proud of who we are. But we're African people that were born in America. And the most intelligent thing we can do strategically and socially and politically is to connect with the continent. Otherwise, if we isolate ourselves in the Americas, we will get decided. So whoever is behind this psyop wants you all to get murdered. You're distancing yourselves from Caribbean folks and African people saying they want to be us, and it's the dumbest shit ever.
They believe they founded this country. They all share two similar characteristics. The FBA do not like immigrants. They feel like we don't deserve to be here. They feel that We are tethers.
Juneteenth is for and about Black Americans. It's not about the diaspora. It's not about Haitians. It's not about Jamaicans. It's not about people in the Caribbean. It is not about people who are not from America. It's been very interesting over the past couple of years to see the diaspora and all of the tethers and all of the people who are Black but not from America at all try to claim Juneteenth as a part of their own.
They've called us tethers. The first time I saw that word, I did not understand its implication. My husband had to look it up, and my husband had to explain it to me. The idea of calling someone a tether is to say that they need you, you need them, I need them to pull me up. They paved the way for immigrants. No, you didn't do anything. Your ancestors did. And I'll forever be grateful to them. And one of those people is actually MLK Jr., a Republican, who said, don't judge me by my skin tone, but by the content of my character. The FBA on the left hate MLK Jr. The FBA on the right, who are also Republicans, and some of them are also in MAGA, may like MLK Jr., but they still hate immigrants. That's one thing. One thing is that they think I should be thankful to them because of my being here is somehow because of them, despite the fact that they hate me, which is weird, right? Number two, they have racial pride.
So I realized that I have a lot of non-Black people who support my content, and I'm 100% grateful for all of y'all. We like family, and a lot of us have, had some really amazing conversations, and I got much love and much respect for all of y'all. I want y'all to know that there is something that is currently taking place that's on the surface between Black Americans and the diaspora. I really want to tell you guys that this ain't got nothing to do with y'all. So don't even get in the midst of the conversation. Just don't even comment.
It's very clear. That's why they call themselves, again, the foundational Black Americans. I was under the impression that MAGA was not a color. We voted for Trump because he was unifying Americans, no matter what skin tone, creed, ethnicity, originality, whatever you came from, that we're uniting under one roof. But then I'm learning very quickly that not everyone is on the same page as I am. Some people do have racial pride, and yes, they come in both skin tones. My only disappointment is the fact that in my heart of hearts, I believed that only the left was this capable of this much racism. Telling me I can't speak on Black American issues because I'm an immigrant is very hypocritical.
All right, can somebody please tell me why these Africans have so many ideas about how to fix Black America and how to fix America, but they can't even fix their own countries? They can't even fix Angola. They can't even fix Ghana. They can't fix Nigeria. They can't fix Jamaica. They can't fix Haiti. God knows they can't fix Haiti because that has been a hot mess for generations. You come over here, insert yourself into Black American issues, and by the way, use everything that we have fought for and built for to go insert yourself into places, but that quite frankly you have not earned. All right? So
because why can't I speak on them? I'm also an American, just as much as you. As much as you hate to hear that, it's the truth. I have an American passport. I love this country. Do you love this country? You might. But then why try to gatekeep it from me? You did not give me my nationality or my citizenship. I did that by myself. You did not pay for me to come here. You did not pay for any visa fees, or my ticket, or my USCIS fees, or my naturalization fees, or my green card renewal fees. You didn't do anything for me. Nothing. I owe you nothing. But feeling like I owe you is a problem for me. Anyone living in America should be able to speak on anything American. Any legal person, legal resident, American citizen should be able to speak on anything American. It's my First Amendment right, my freedom of speech, which I'm sure you're very familiar with. At least I hope you are. I got this little booklet when I became a citizen, and I've held it very close to me since. 1. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech, or of the press, or the right of the people peaceably to assemble, right to protest, and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. I did not hear there that I'm not allowed to speak against Black American issues. It's very hypocritical of you to think that it's okay for you to criticize. So it's okay for you to criticize your community, but I can't. Why? What gives you more authority than I? The reason African immigrants are able to speak on Black American issues is because we come from countries that don't have these kinds of freedoms, we can see through the victimhood nonsense. We can see through the systemic racism BS. And the most ironic part about this is that you're a Republican, you don't believe in this victimhood nonsense. So why are you trying to keep my ability to say anything about it? They are gonna call you a coon too. They're gonna call you a coon, so why are you fighting against me? I don't know. I've been very disappointed to learn this. This is a creator that I admired their work. This is the second video they've made that made me realize they were part of the FBA, because again, they look down on immigrants.
So the message from this Black American, and my family has been here for generations, baby. I'm not some African. I'm a Black American. And so my advice to you is go fix your own countries before you come tell us about our issues.
Just to answer your question, the people and the government are not the same thing, darling. If you're gonna hate something, do your homework on it first and then give your opinion. If you don't know this, the African governments are very corrupt. I'll give you an example of Kenya. The Kenyans pay their taxes, but where do you think the taxes go? Do you think they benefit? Do you think the infrastructure improves? Or do you think it goes in the pockets of the politicians and the members of parliament and the president? That's where they go. The people of the country are not the issue. The government is. And no matter how much they try to vote for the right candidate, they'll always be rigging. It's a reason why I never voted in Kenya, not once. I knew I had the right to vote. I did not want to vote because I was like, what is the point? I'm going to queue for hours, up to 7 hours in a queue, because again, the systems are so broken. Only to make a vote that does not count for anything because someone's going to rig it anyways. So don't insult me by trying to blame me for the fact that the Kenyan government is not doing its job. Instead of admiring an immigrant for actually being able to live and find new opportunities and actually they come to the homeland, they come here to your home and do well, but then you're going to hate them for it. I guess I kind of see why that's the case. But you're not going to silence me. You can't silence immigrants from having a voice. They've always been very opinionated. They're just afraid to say anything. I just happen to be one of the louder, mouthier ones. So I get a lot of targeted hate toward me because I'm an easy target. But I promise you these thoughts, they're very valid. You don't want to be criticized, and yet you do the same critique against your own community. I will not tell you not to speak out against immigrants if you see them doing something that you disagree with, as long as it's founded on fact and not feelings. But for immigrants to have a say in things that are happening in Black America, yeah, we're going to continue to speak out. I'm sorry it offends you. But I'm very disappointed to learn that there are foundational Black Americans who are Republican. It has definitely been a wake-up call. Let's put it that way. And as much as I knew that I have conservative friends who are Black Americans, they grew up here in this country, they don't hold the victimhood mentality. Some of them might have racial pride, and it's making me I'm very concerned and I'm very critical now. Even if we may seem like we're on the same side, fighting on the same side and fighting the same fight, now I have questions. Because every time I look at them, I have to wonder, do they hate immigrants? Do they hate that I speak on these issues? Are they okay with it? Do they feel like I have no right to speak on these issues because I'm not part of the FBA? This is the same FBA who made this doll of me. The same ones who call me a bed wench because I'm married to my husband. Crazy. I have made a few videos regarding the FBA. You can check them out here. And you can go watch it for yourself because I think it's going to be a very interesting discovery of who they are. Like I said, again, my shock has been the fact that there are some on the right. Just the same way I know there are vanilla Americans or white Americans who voted for Trump who are racist. The racism is on both sides. I've always known this, but it's another thing to encounter it firsthand. You know, to see someone saying things like, oh, Africans have low IQ. Black people are they're just made to be criminal. They just have it in their system, in their blood. And you're like, are you kidding me right now? It's giving Django vibes, you know? It's giving Django vibes.
Well, Ben here took care of my daddy and my daddy's daddy till he up and killed over one day.
But to have racial pride in this day and age, it's so pathetic to me. Anyways, I'm gonna continue to be vigilant, y'all. I have to be. It's just again crazy to me that we have people who love Trump but are racist. Trump himself is not. I feel like they're tarnishing his name by having the audacity to vote for him. He doesn't stand for that nonsense. He's not woke. He's not anti-immigration. He's very much pro-immigration. He's very much pro-legal immigration. He's married to an immigrant. These FBAs who feel the way they do they remember that the vice president's wife is a daughter of immigrants? She's a second-generation immigrant.
The FBA movement is such a disappointment. As a Black American, I thought it was going to be something that we could use to reclaim our identity and, have something to identify with. Genetically, but we just live in America and we're Black Americans now. Then it became, some of us came from Africa, and then it was just, we were already here. And now what you have is people who identify as FBA saying, oh, we're Aboriginals and we was already here. And the FBA is just another label that they add to the mix. And the last thing that happened more recently is when it became MAGA. There's a lot of FBAs, they're like these patriotic people. It's not really about us having our own ethnic identity, but trying to be some kind of conservative Black American Aboriginal thing, whatever it is. A lot of them are basically Black conservatives, but with a slight little twist. And the fourth thing I forgot to mention when making this video, it just became like anti-African and anti, Pan-Africanism. I'm not a big Pan-Africanist, but if we're going to have any allies outside of Black America, it's going to be other Black people in other places.
Anyway, I'm going to add a video here that my husband made that I thought was perfect. It summarized my thoughts very well on this issue.
Any ideas about how to fix Black America?
Maybe because these African immigrants are outperforming Black Americans in education, finances, have a lower crime rate, and use less government assistance.
And how to fix America, but they can't even fix their own country.
That would be like me asking your ancestors why they didn't just free themselves when they were slaves. Our ancestors didn't free themselves. They also didn't obtain the freedoms and rights that you have the privilege of enjoying today. They relied on the majority of the people with power to help them obtain it. With how much disdain you have against African countries, I find this humorous. If we were to replace Black Americans with these African immigrants, America would be better, while Africa would get worse. African immigrants are more likely to be Christian, be married, have a father in the home, and they come from a country where if they don't hustle, they die. Compared to where we live, where if you don't want to hustle, you just get extremely obese and a lot of other people's money. Which just tells me that if we did replace these African immigrants with these woke Black Americans that think they're victims, they would just die if they went to Africa. It's hard to talk tough when you're living on other people's money.
You want to come over here, insert yourself into Black American issues.
So Black immigrants that are American are inserting themselves into Black American spaces. Call me crazy, but I think that makes sense. Now, I know why you're trying to separate them from the native-born Black Americans, because you want to claim that being born here is different than not being born here, even though where they came from a lot worse than what you probably came from. That you complain more. It's the fact that they prove that systemic racism doesn't exist. The only way for you to keep this race-baiting victim mentality dream alive is to try and shut them up and tell them that they can't have an opinion. Now, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of Black Americans who have their head on straight, that hustle like hell and don't have this victim mentality. They are what America is about. These victim mindset FBAs, even the ones that voted for Trump like this guy, I used to follow him, who have to call immigrants tethers because they think that they changed history for everybody to come here and live off of what they worked for when they didn't work for shit. Their ancestors did.
We have fought for and built for to go insert yourself into places, but that quite frankly you have not earned.
They're the ones that can't make their own legacy and live off of the legacy of their ancestors. All these immigrants come here to make their own legacy and live the American dream. I'm talking specifically about the ones who come here the right way, who pass all of the education and financial background checks, the ones who love America and what it stands for. Not only should guys like this stop telling them that they can't have an opinion, he should start taking some notes.
Be on the lookout for these guys. They do exist. I am not making this up. It's very disappointing, but life has to go on. Every day we live and we learn. I am very much against pride in race. I am very much against prejudicial treatment of people based on their skin tone, because that's all racism. And I have no room in my heart for racism or racists. Appreciate if you watched this far. Thank you so much. I hope you will like, comment, subscribe, and share. And I will see you guys in the next one. Kenyan Hippie out.